Is it on?
Hello. Yes. My FaceTime. Hello, everybody. It's Thriving Females. My FaceTime popped on right at the same time, so I couldn't see anybody. And that's
I'm
Tara,
Tara.
and there's Amy. And our guest tonight is Tisha. And I have to tell you, I love when I get lots of texts about a certain person that everybody says, will you reach out and put her on Thriving Females? Because she is an inspiration to all. I know that a lot of the people that have texted me have met you through the gym or knew somebody that knows you at the gym and have talked about your transformation, your health journey. And I don't want to spoil it because the platform is yours. So you have a lot of fans out there that think you're thriving in your life right now and want you to tell your story. So I'm going to let you take it over, Tisha.
Well, thank you so much. And thank you guys for having me. I put my story out in order to inspire others. And no matter where your journey is, something to push yourself and to look forward to. So, going back a little bit in time, you may be shocked at looking at me now that I did used to weigh close to 300 pounds. I started out my journey about 3 years ago when my sister had a health scare and realized I needed to take my self seriously and really push myself and identify what can I do in order to become to lose weight, to become physically fit, and that's where it started from there. At that point, I did research bariatric surgery and I did have gastric bypass in January 2021. At that time, I lost 120 pounds in 11 months. And from there, I really didn't realize or accept that I wanted to do maintenance yet until January because it was November. And I really wanted to get through the holidays and make sure I could maintain with where I was at through the holidays. We all know what the holidays, what those are like. So in January 2022, I decided that I was in maintenance and really stepped up my game and really focused on a lot of fitness. Now, whenever you lose weight, you also lose muscle mass, you lose other things as well. So, whenever I started losing weight, of course, your eating habits change, everything changes. But the first thing is your mindset. So, really uncovering what were triggers for my mindset and how I could overcome those and started out my journey. I started removing some of my behaviors prior
Mhm.
to losing the weight because I knew that once I was on this train, I wanted to stick with it for life. I don't want to be on a roller coaster like yo-yo diets and stuff like that. So anyway, I really focused on what I could do to change my behaviors and have my mind ready whenever the time came. And I knew what was going to happen. And that really helped me to succeed in whenever any birthday party or any kind of activity came about. I really pushed through to get through those trigger moments and at the end of the day succeeded with that. Any
So I
questions
have
so
like
far or continue on?
I
Yeah.
have like 5 or 6 or 7. I can just ask a lot.
Yeah. No, I can continue on if you want.
Yeah. No, it's good. Like there's some questions right now that I know people out there are thinking about. So
Okay.
I know it's like you had gastric bypass, correct?
I did.
Wait, is that what
I did.
okay, so that's different than the sleeve, right?
That
Is
is
that
correct.
okay? So what
Yes.
did you look at both of them?
I did, and that is a very good question, and it's a question I get a lot.
Uh-huh.
So the sleeve, okay, so the one I had is the gastric bypass. It's a little bit more intense than the sleeve. The sleeve kind of takes your stomach and squeezes off some of it. However, your stomach is still there in order to be able to have a smaller stomach. The gastric
Mhm.
bypass actually removes part of your stomach. So you actually have surgery to remove part of that. Now, it can expand back if you were to go back to old behaviors and different things like that. However, it is a more intense surgery. The reason I chose this, and everybody is different, so I don't want to downplay one over the other. Is if you look at how many sleeve patients have to have a revision because they either stall or they don't hit where their target was. Also, there's some other complications that could come along with it, but I wanted one and done. Just give it to me all. I had the mindset of ready for this, so that's why I chose gastric bypass.
Well, I know that's a question. And when I owned a gym, a lot of people ask that. And I understand it is a tool. It's not a quick
It,
fix, but
you are
there is
correct.
differences. And I always tell people, figure out what's going to be best for yourself. Because I know a lot of people that have had jaw surgery. Some have
Hmm.
done amazing. Other people used it as a tool, but then they gained it all back. And so
Correct.
it's not a fix forever, so it's like
It
that's
is
what
not.
it's a tool to get you where you can, start working on yourself. I always think that is.
Absolutely. And like you said, it's a tool. It's like a jump start. It's something that really will fast forward the process, but you have to have everything else in order to be able to succeed through it.
Mhm.
Currently, right now, if I went back to my old habits or did anything that I did before, that was the way I eat, the way I didn't do any exercise or anything like that, I would gain the weight back, just like I would do with a yo yo diet or something like that. The moment you stop is whenever you would gain it back. And surgery is the same way. And unfortunately, with surgery, when you have gastric bypass, when you do that, you're really limiting. If you want to have that surgery again, because now you've already removed some of your stomach, and sometimes you can't have it a second one.
Yeah.
So,
That's
So,
a good point.
Tisha, what
yes.
is it that you're doing now that you felt like you couldn't do before? That you're
Oh,
really
girlfriend.
filling in now, right? I'm like burning, like Sarah and Tara, like we're burning with thoughts here.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So let's rewind. Before I started this journey, I created a bucket list. I created a bucket list for myself,
Yes.
and it was
Hey.
long, and it had anything on that list that I could not do at the moment, from tying my shoes without being winded,
Mm.
running a mile, skydiving, which that's the last thing on the bucket list that I haven't done, and I will be doing it.
Okay.
um
Yeah.
Follow-up
running
interview. I see it coming.
yeah,
Yeah.
running
That's right.
obstacle course racing and running those was one of the big things that I really wanted to do. But the list goes on and on. And so as I started this journey, I kept it in my phone in the notes, and I would put a check mark under whenever I completed one of those. And I saw that I was succeeding with those. But you know what? I didn't stop. I kept adding to my list because I wanted to
Love
continue
it.
to succeed. And this right here is a picture of from a Spartan race, me doing the monkey bars across the Spartan. Um, and there I am carrying a bucket of rocks during a Spartan race. And those are obstacle course racing. And I didn't just go with like the regular obstacle course. You go big. Whenever you want to do something, you push yourself. And I got to tell you, that very first obstacle course race that I went on, I didn't know what I was doing. I had joined a gym, and I really wanted to do this, and they put a message out to everybody. Hey, anybody want to do the Spartan? And I thought, oh, this is my chance. And I have
Why
friends that's
not?
going to do
Right?
it. Why not?
Yeah.
Well, I did not sign up, and thankfully somebody else was not able to go, so I took their ticket. I really didn't know these people, but I was going to try. Get up to the 4 foot wall, and you're supposed to go over this wall. I didn't know how to jump. And I was like, what is going on with me? I don't know how to
That would
jump. And
be
they're like,
me.
just jump over the wall. And I'm like, I can't. I don't know how. So from that point, I continue to push myself. So
Oh my goodness,
I
you
push
did push
myself.
yourself because that's like the first thing in a Spartan is like you run a few feet and then it's this wall that you have to get over and you did it.
I did. I
Amazing.
did. And I pushed myself and I got over that wall. And from then on, I knew all these obstacles that I could not do, I'm going to succeed and I'm going to push myself. And here I am in this picture here as to how did I do this? I went back to the gym and I told them I need to learn how to jump. You guys got to teach me. So I started on weights and focusing on the wall and jumping onto weights. And from there, then I learned how to jump onto a box. And now I can do box jumps.
I love
And just go ahead.
It's such a little thing that people don't think about, like, oh, well, you can jump, but it's not as easy as everybody thinks it is, even if you're in shape.
It's not easy. And so then just a few weekends ago, I did another Spartan in the stadium in Tampa. And like I said, I continue to push myself. I climbed over the 7-foot wall by myself, unassisted, with no help. And
That's
Outstanding.
amazing.
I
Wow.
I continue to push myself. So the next one at the next Spartan, I plan on climbing a rope and doing the rope climb and stuff like that. So it's just a matter of mindset. But I gotta say, and I gotta give a shout out to my friends, and I'm sure some of them are ones that reached out to you. It takes a team of people that can continue to help you and continue to push you. And you have to be inspired. You have to have somebody that can help connect with you and somebody that you look towards to be able to help push you. And I found that in the gym that I go to, in the peers that I have, in the friends that I have, and they continue to pull me along whenever I want to run a 5K and I'm like, I can't do it. And they're like, oh, yes, you can. Come on, we're going out, and different things like that. So it's really pushed me to become a better Tisha.
What's something that you would tell another individual who's not quite ready to make that leap into surgery, but wants to do some of these little things that worked for you along the way?
I would tell them to what is on their wish list, what is their bucket list, and what is holding them back and why. Because it depends on, everybody's different. And I would continue to tell them to push towards that. If you've tried different yo-yo diets or tried different things and they're failing, why are they failing? What is causing that to happen? Most likely it's a mindset. So it's not what you're eating. It is what you're eating, but get to the root of the problem. Get to the root of what is causing it. Because if you don't do that, it's going to continue. I do have a conversation with somebody almost every day about what they can do and how they can overcome the weight. A lot of people I know have had surgery since I've had it. And only because it helps me, but it's not the outcome that I thought I was going to have. And I say that because I didn't know that I was going to be so successful in running and being an athlete and doing those things. I wanted to, but my path is different than what I thought it was going to be because I didn't know what it was going to be. So the sky's the limit.
Through all of your obstacles and all of your challenges, really from the start to what brings you today, what would you say is your biggest aha? Like, what's your biggest self-discovery item on you?
So I going to the doctor. Annually, we have to go to the doctor. And I pushing 300 pounds. I was pushing sleep, not have high blood pressure, but I'm sure I was on the borderline of that and all this kinds of stuff where I was going to be the medication road and different things like that. When I went to the doctor, and because you have to have a doctor's release to have surgery. When I went in to have the doctor's release, she told me success stories of she's seen of patients. That was October of 2020. When I went back a year later, my weight, of course, has changed. However, she said all of my blood work and all of my blood pressure, heart rate, and everything showed I was an athlete. To go from one thing to another, I was shocked. And I
love that.
I asked her, I said, can you please repeat that? She's like, everything, every sign shows you're an athlete. She said, if you walked in this office and I never saw you before, I would think that you have been an athlete your entire life.
I think
And
that's
I,
amazing.
Yeah.
it
Wow.
really is. And so it's just a matter of how you treat your body and what you do. The fuel that you put in and the hard work, and it does, it pays off.
So Tisha, you lost a
Yeah,
lot of weight. What was the total
I did.
from the beginning till the end? How much so far have you lost?
100 pounds.
100 and what?
120.
Oh,
120.
that's awesome. Gosh, that's like a
Mm-hmm.
human. That's awesome. Now he is
Yeah.
a little human. So do you now? I know some people go like I know people that have lost a lot of weight and they're still struggling. Did you have a lot of loose skin? And if so,
Okay,
what helped you
yeah,
get
so
rid of
that's a
it?
good question. Yeah, so I do have a little bit of loose skin, not a lot of loose skin, but I got to tell you, if you look at the charts and you look at BMI, different things like that, I'm still overweight. I'm still heavy compared to that. Do I want to lose any more weight? No. I am perfectly happy with where I'm at. My current weight today was 162. So I currently weigh, try to maintain between 155 and 165, only because I think that that is a good weight for my body type. Um, but some people get down to their 130s and different things like that. And I think that that's where a lot of the loose skin comes from, is because their body can't handle that much extra weight loss. Also, a lot of the loose skin too, sometimes it's because they're not doing the physical activities. They're not building up the muscle. They're not building up everything that has the loose skin. Yes, I have some, a little bit on the bottom of my rump, because I did have a bigger butt, a little bit in my belly, a little bit on my arms, but it's not worth doing any surgery or anything for me. So I continue to work out, and it's my next goal is to firm up those areas.
I
So
love
this
that Mary.
picture here, so this was my very first 10K. I did
Oh
do
my
a
gosh.
10K, and that was the Volano Beach run. I thought I was going to die.
But look at
But
you. I mean, you do
Right?
not look like you're getting ready to pass
No.
or
I
anything.
know she's like
Amazing.
10K.
Like,
What
I did
next?
it.
Right. Right.
yes. So we do have a half marathon Spartan that's lined up at the end of this year that we will be doing. And I should say, so one of you guys asked me this, something that kind of has changed and different things like that. And so I've been married for 26 years, overweight since kind of my son is 22, will be 23 next week. And I've been overweight kind of since I had him, just didn't really care about my health and living life and all that kind of stuff. I have to say, since I've lost weight from my bucket list, I have accomplished so many things with my son. He's 22. He's in college. He's graduating this summer. We've gone ziplining together. Mother's Day, I booked it. I'm like, this is what we're doing. Now he runs the Spartans with me. So him and
I
I do
saw a
these
picture.
together.
Was that him on the
And
picture with you? Was
I'm
that him in
sorry?
the picture on Facebook with you?
Yes.
I was like, he
Yes.
looks just like her. I'm like, that's got to be her son. I think that is so cool. That is so cool.
You're
It
bringing
really
tears
is.
to my eyes by
Oh,
saying this, because
thank
mine's almost
you.
23. So I hear you, just being able to spend true quality time together that you will always remember. Oh gosh, I'm starting to get teary-eyed. I'm sorry. Oh goodness.
It
Okay, I'm
really
not
is
gonna cry, but
amazing.
it's like
It
awesome. It's freaking awesome, you know?
It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
And you know, he drags me along there. I drag him along, and he'll give me a boost and throw me up over those walls that I couldn't climb before, but now I'm climbing. So it really is amazing that now we have this that we do together.
So a
Tisha,
collective family transformation is what I'm hearing you say. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes.
totally. That's
Outstanding.
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah.
Tisha, you said something at the beginning that I think
Yeah.
even everybody can. You said there's bad behaviors you have to get rid of. You have to have different mindsets.
Yep.
Like, I think I mean, you can be already an athlete and you can hit a wall and like have some bad behaviors. You can have like a mindset, like, I'm done. I can't do anymore. What are some advice out there to everybody that, they're trying to get healthy, they're trying to lose weight or get in shape? I mean, it could be the one that's extremely obese to the one that's actually an athlete. We all have those minds, those bad behaviors, or we have those bad mindsets that kind of like get knocked down by our own minds.
Absolutely. So let me tell you about one of the first ones that I did. So, and this could resonate with a lot of people. It's nighttime. You're ready to watch Netflix and chill. What do? You go grab some chips or some popcorn or something like that. Your habit is you put your hand in, you eat. You don't even realize that you're doing that. So one of the first things I did was I moved my seat from where I normally sit. I sit on the opposite side of the sofa, because then you have to use your other hand. Your other hand doesn't know to grab out of the bag of chips or to grab whatever. So changing little behaviors that you have, I know it sounds crazy, but changing those little things has really helped me to stop that kind of behavior.
And did you come up with those on your own? Did you
I
do
did.
research? Did you have somebody be like, hey, you should use your left hand versus your right hand? Like, that's so unique and creative.
I actually created that one on my own just because I had to stop that behavior. I am a popcorn kind of person, and I had to stop at that time. What am I going to do to stop? I'm going to move myself. So I did. I moved myself. The whole family ended up moving in where they sit. But your family has to accommodate in everything you do. And I say that because that was another behavior in our house. So any kind of junk foods, anything else is not in our house. So rice changed to cauliflower rice. Other things changed, no potatoes and stuff like that. Now we have introduced some other things back in, like some potatoes, because now I know what I can eat and what I can't eat. But early on, my family all had the transition too, because it is a whole family affair. You can't do it by yourself.
Tisha,
So
I'm so glad you said that. Oh, sorry.
Oh,
I'm so glad you said that, because people used to say that all the time. Well, it's so hard. I'm trying to lose weight and I have to buy food for me, and then I have to buy separate from your family. I said, why? Well, they don't like healthy food. I'm like, why are you feeding your kids the junk food? Like, they can eat it. I said, if you take it all out and put the good food in, they're not going to starve. They can throw a fit.
No.
And I mean, like, they're kids. I'm sure you have control still. It's like,
but I used to get correct.
But I used to get that all the time. Well, it's so hard. I have to eat healthy, and then I have to buy a whole other grocery cart for my family. I'm like, no, you don't, because there's nothing bad about eating healthy for everybody.
Correct. And speaking of eating healthy, here's another tip that I created, and I do not think I found this anywhere, but this is how I grocery shop. Is I only shop the external walls of the grocery store. So when you go in, you have your bakery, which I skip. I'm using my Publix in my mind. Bakery, which I skip. Then you have your deli, you have your fruits and vegetables, you have the meat department, you have the dairy, and you wrap it up. If I ever need anything from any of the middle aisles, I park the buggy. I don't take the buggy down the aisle. I park it because I only go and get that one item. If I take the buggy, I'm going to have a tendency to grab and toss into the buggy just because I can. So if you don't take the buggy down the aisle, you'll just grab your one item and then you'll go back to your buggy.
Love it. So what I heard you say before is disrupting the triggers and really kind of finding your own game plan that changes up the actual game, right? So I love that. And in terms of the buggy and taking it down or not taking it down the aisle, so that you really are very, very targeted, and you're obviously have that short list at the grocery that you're more apt to stay in tuned with then, right?
Yes. Absolutely.
Great
Absolutely.
tips
And I
and
do
tricks.
share
Love
a
it.
lot of recipes on my Facebook page just because healthy, kind of keto, but I'm not doing keto. So if anybody asks, I'm not doing keto. I'm just maintaining with high protein, low carbs, zero sugar diet. But I do share a lot of recipes and a lot that I would cook.
Awesome. Love
Tisha,
that.
do you ever cheat and have something like one of your favorites that you gave up a long time ago?
So I do. Popcorn. Bring back the
I
popcorn.
wondered if it was going to be that one.
I was like,
I
wait for it, right? Yeah.
I love popcorn, and I got to say, I love Publix popped popcorn. For some reason, they have the best popcorn, so I do cheat with there. I did try to cheat one time and had one bite of pumpkin pie at Thanksgiving, and part of gastric bypass was they removed some of your stomach, and it's the part of your stomach that digests the sugar. So I ended up going into like a sugar shock after I ate that one bite, which I didn't I knew what was happening. It's called dumping syndrome. I knew what was happening, but I didn't expect it to hurt so bad and everything. And because of that, I just don't even try it anymore. So it was a good thing because now I will not try sugar, anything with cake, ice cream, stuff like that. But popcorn is my hidden little treat. Which isn't
Tisha,
bad, but
before we wrap up tonight, tell everybody, I know you have your Facebook and then an Instagram. Tell them what you do on there.
yeah, so I do my Instagram, I really focus on my journey. So I started it before I started losing weight. It's called Tisha's Trek, TISHASTREK. And just to help or inspire others, just to show I was heavy. If you met me now, you may not think I was heavy. I really was heavy, and I was exhausted doing stuff. And I go through the vitamins that I took. I go through what I was eating before and after surgery, different things like that up until today. And today it's kind of turned into more of a fitness journey because I'm not losing weight anymore. I'm really focused on my fitness and lifting weights, lifting heavy at the gym and running. And of course, Spartan obstacle course racing. And then, of
Awesome.
course, my Facebook, if you want to find any recipes, it's Tisha Joyner Money. Yeah.
I love it.
Well, you have shared such amazing information. I've been waiting to show this picture because I wanted to end on it because it's such a celebratory pose and it shows kind of where you've come from and where you are now. But I think we are just as excited for you. And
Yes.
if we all could do like a big old celebratory pose like that and jump up. But thank you so much for joining us tonight, Tisha. We really appreciated it and your transparency and just candor and letting people know the real you. I think that's what makes a thriving female thrive.
Oh, thank you. And if anybody has any questions or needs somebody just to reach out to for direction or anything, feel free to hit me up on any of the social media platforms. I'm an open door. I don't mind answering questions. I have a lot of people that do that. So I just do it just to inspire and help others.
Well, thank
I love
you.
it.
Well,
Beautiful.
sadly, our interview for tomorrow night is being rescheduled for sometime in June, but we will definitely let y'all know when our next thriving female will be joining us. But until then, we hope y'all enjoy the rest of the month of May, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Thank you,
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye.